Critical thinking requires food for thought. So at NewsNation, what we do is we lay it out so you can understand the complexity of the sides. These fires are bad. They're on the watch of Democrats. Democrats should be to blame. Is that fair? Let's ask one of California's longest-serving and most zealous members of Congress, California Democratic Member of Congress, Maxine Waters. Madam Waters, always a pleasure to see you. Happy New Year, and I am sorry for what your state is dealing with.
Thank you, and it's good to be on the program at this very special time where all of this devastation is going on in LA County and around. Let me just say this. Today, I was at Westminster Presbyterian Church in Pasadena, and the people at that church, ministers, community leaders, all, they want more attention on Altadena. Altadena has, working people, people who may not have enough money by which to go and rent a hotel maybe for, months to come, etc. And so I would like to ask you and any other media individuals that may be listening, do everything that you can to get attention on Altadena. That whole area has just about been flattened, and we have working class people do not have a lot of resources. The other thing that I did was I contacted the School of Social Work over at UCLA, because I believe that social workers have a role to play with case management. We have people, not everybody is rich, and we have people who are, don't know where they're going, people who are in temporary situations that need some help in finding a place to live. We have people who need food. We have people who need health care, all of that. And so that's what I'm concentrated on. Now, I did hear you and Adam, talk about Democrats versus Republicans. I'm not into that. I'm not into the blame game. I'm not into talking about whether or not Gavin Newsom is trying to protect himself and run for president. None of that. When I was at Westminster today, they talked about hope. And all of these ministers came from all over that area. Some of them had lost their homes, they had lost their cars, they had lost everything. One of the ministers had on the same clothes that he had on when he was first made aware of what was going on. So I think it's time to use the media in a more professional and productive way. I would like to see all of the media have running on their screens where people can get help in all of these communities. Instead of this business about Democrats or Republicans, get the information up on the screens. Where can you go in Altadena? Where can you go in Pasadena? Where can you go in Malibu? Where can you go in the Palisades? Where can you go in San Fernando Valley? They don't know. They're looking for help, and that's what we should be dedicated to.
I agree.
And you too.
We are doing it. We will continue to do it. I think you are right. However, it can also be seen that you don't want to talk about the politics because it's on your party, because the mayor and the governor are Democrats who arguably should have had the people in Altadena better prepared for this. They should have the resources more available so they don't need me to put them up, because the state has been doing the work. And that if they've been preparing the situations for wildfires like they were made aware of, instead of cutting deals with PG&E and insurance companies, they would have prepared the state. That is not unfair criticism. Is it too soon? Maybe, but the questions are real.
Let me tell you something. I'm not in the business of protecting anybody. And I think that my work over the years that I've been involved have been absolutely on point in dealing what has to be dealt with in order to help the people. First thing you got to understand is services cost money. And we should be willing to get the richest people in this country, the richest 1% that is protected, make sure they pay their fair taxes so that we can have the money to provide the services. With that money and with those resources, the people who have been selected or elected to do the job should do the job. I don't care who it is. It could be Democrat, it could be Republican, it could be whatever. But the fact of the matter is, we all should have heavy hearts right now, but we should have faith, and we should be on, point for making sure that we do everything to help the people that need us. Damn it, you can do the politics later. You can come and talk about Gavin Newsom later. You can talk about the Democrats later. I don't care who you talk about, but don't use up this precious time to do petty politics. Use the time to educate and to share information and to let people know where they can get some food, where they can get a place to stay, where they can get some clothing, on and on and on. That's where I am. I don't know where you are. Get back on the screen.
I'm right with you, Representative, and that's why I wanted you to come on the show, and I wish I had more numbers and resources to share. I'll be honest, I've watched a lot of states in crisis, okay? California is not the worst when it's coming to this right now, but it's not the best either. There's a lot of money in California. There's a lot of taxes paid. And there are not a lot of resources for people right now. And thinking FEMA's going to pick up the slack, they got their own funding problems. So I agree with you, with your call to urgency. I am here for you. If you want me to do something, you can call me and I will do it. I will put out the information. I will help people any way that I can at your instruction. That is part of the job, and I'm happy to do it.
I thank you, and I believe you. And I'm appreciative for your sharing that. It's not all on you, but I am talking about the media in general. If it's one thing I don't like about the media is we use a precious time for pity, stuff that should not be dealt with in the way that we use up the precious hours that media have. We got to do more education. You were sitting here talking about, people, get on your computers and do this and that and this way. You have a lot of people who don't have that. They have a television, and they need to have the telephone numbers. They need to know how to get in touch with FEMA. They need to know where the resources are.
I agree.
And don't just talk about, one part of it, the Palisades or Malibu. Talk about Altadena, where the poorest people are, who need more help than anybody. Come on, let's do what we can do in a real way. We'll deal with the politics later. And no, I don't mind, talking about politics. I don't mind being confronted. I don't mind confronting others, but now is not the time to do it.
Maxine Waters, I don't think I've had a single... Oh, you can hear me. I'm right here. Okay. Maxine Waters, I have never questioned your mettle one day in my life, and there is no question you're afraid of, and there is none that I am afraid to ask. There will be a time for accountability. I'm not saying it's now. I'm saying that part of my concern for the folks who were desperate before this and now need help is, were they set up to feel the pain right now? And I'm going to pursue that line of questioning. I've had the number on for the hotline this entire interview, and I'll keep it. Congressman Waters, I wish you the best. I take your exhortation on face value. We will do our best to be productive and help people in a time of need. That's part of the job at NewsNation, and I will speak to you again about the progress. It's been there the whole time.
Keep it up. And forget about politicians and forget about comedians and forget about attacks. Keep those numbers up. Keep that information going. Get people going out to carry resources to people who desperately need it. I know you can help in that way. It's not all on you. It's on all of us.
I'm happy to shoulder any burden. It's part of the job as a public service. What I'm saying is I can do two things at once. I don't know if Congress can, but I can do two things at once. I can hold power to account, and I can help people in need any way I can. And I promise I'll do both, and I look forward to having you back.
We're going to get the money up. It's already been declared an emergency situation. The president has called all the members of Congress. We're going to get the money to get to the people who need it,
and we'll see how you spend it.
Absolutely devastated by what's going on. Congress is going to get that money to them.
I agree with the need. I just want to see how it's spent. And Maxine Waters, I appreciate you. I wish you a productive new year, and I look forward to speaking to you about this again.
And Happy New Year to you also. I look forward to continuing these kinds of discussions. I appreciate your willingness to talk with me, knowing that I'm going to say some things that may not be welcomed, but thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you, Maxine Waters. You are always welcome here. God bless and be well. Hey, thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget, click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.